You may be wondering, Colleen, what are you doing with all of these books? Why are there so many? Welcome to my book call. It has been a busy month for me. I've bought way too many books, and I'm no longer allowed to buy any more. Though we all know that is a lie, because I probably said that at the beginning of this month. So I'm just going to put these over here on my bed and go through them one by one. The first book that I bought this month I got on Amazon, and I bought it at the same time that I bought a sleeping mask for myself because I work a lot of night shifts and I find sleeping during the day hard. And it is The Robber Bride by Margaret Atwood. I was having such a hard time finding it in this edition to match my other editions of the Margaret Atwood books that I have and have not read. So I wanted to get this while I still can. I think I bought it on Prime Day, actually. And I also bought MASH that day as well. So it was a good day. Very much looking forward to this. And it is, on the back it says the story of Xenia ought to begin where Xenia begins. So, not entirely sure what that's about, but that is what the back of the book says. So looking forward to another Atwood. Next, for some reason I went to Chapters with my mother. I was very good. I only bought one book, The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. And this is what the back says. After 4 harrowing years on the Western Front, Tom Sherborne returns to Australia and takes a job as a lighthouse keeper on Janus Rock, nearly half a day's journey from the coast. To this isolated island where the supply boat comes once a season, Tom brings a young, bold, and loving wife, Isabel. Years later, after 2 miscarriages and 1 stillbirth, the grieving Isabel hears a baby's cries on the wind. A boat has washed up on shore carrying a dead man and a living baby. Tom, who keeps meticulous records and whose moral principles have withstood a horrific war, wants to report the man and infant immediately, but Isabel insists the baby is a gift from God, and against Tom's judgment, they claim her as their own and name her Lucy. When she's 2, Tom and Isabel return to the mainland, are reminded that there are other people in the world, and their choice has devastated one of them. So that sounds really interesting. My friend read it, Kate has read it, and she really liked it. She read it directly after she read All the Light We Cannot See. So in a similar vein, I thought it'd be a fun summer read. I was going to read it on my trip to Toronto, and then I didn't. But I read a lot of the books, so it's fine. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and it was a good haul. The next books I bought was on a trip. I lied. The next books I bought, I got at the Book Depository and ABE Books for the End of the World Book Club. One of them is Midwich Cuckoos, which I've already reviewed, and I will link to that in the description box below. And on the back it says, in a sleepy English village of Midwich, a mysterious silver object appears and all the inhabitants fall unconscious. A day later the object is gone and everyone wakes unharmed except for all the women in the village are discovered to be pregnant. The resultant children of Midwich do not belong to their parents. All are blonde, all are golden-eyed. They grow up too fast and their minds exhibit frightening abilities that give them control over others. This brings them into conflict with the villagers just as a chilling realization dawns on the outside world. The Midwich Cuckoos is the classic tales of aliens in our midst, exploring how we respond when confronted by those who are superior to us in every conceivable way. They mention H.G. Wells a lot in this novel, and it is very Wellsian. I really did enjoy this book, and you can find more about it below. I think this is the one that I got off of ABE Books. And I got this one off of the Book Depository. Both of these books are the books for the End of the World Book Club for this month, and I have just started this one. This one, All the Fallen Children by David Owen, is largely based off the Midwich Cuckoos, and it says on the back, young people on Midwich Estate don't have much hope for their futures. Keisha has lived there her whole life and has been working hard to escape it. Others have just accepted their lot. But change is coming. One night, everyone inside Midwich Tower falls mysteriously unconscious in one inexplicable night out. No one can explain what happened during those lost hours, but soon afterwards, Keisha and 3 other girls find they're pregnant, and the babies are growing at an alarming rate. As the news spreads around the tower, its residents turn against them, and the situation spirals towards violence. Keisha's life unravels as she realizes that the pregnancy might not have just ruined her hopes for the future. She might be the mother of the end of the world. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm very excited to read this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Really excited to see what Books and Quills thinks of it as well. But we'll keep you updated. So just in case you're keeping track, that's already 4 books. Then I went to chapters with my best friend Jacqueline, and I picked up Paper Girls Volume 1, a sci-fi graphic novel, which I'm not going to talk a lot about apparently. The 3rd book in the Queen of the Tearling series, The Fate of the Tearling, which I'm also not going to read the back of because probably spoilers. What else did I get? Oh, I got The Gunslinger by Stephen King because the movie's going to come out soon. I'll read the back of this one to you. In a desolate reality, one that mirrors our own in a frightening way, a lone and haunting figure known only as Ronald makes his way across the endless sand in pursuit of a sinister, dark-robed, mysterious man. Mystery of a man. Mystery of a man. Ronald is the last of his kind, a gunslinger, charged with protecting whatever goodness and light remains in his world. A world that has moved on, as they say. And the only way he can possibly hope to save everything is to first outwit and confront this man in black and make him divulge his many arcane secrets. For despite the countless miles he's already traveled, Roland knows that these will merely be his initial steps on his spellbinding and soul-shattering quest to locate the mysterious nexus of all worlds, all universes, the Dark Tower. So it's really cool. It's going to be my first Stephen King novel because most of the time I think his stuff is too spooky. This one sounds more sci-fi than horror. Jacqueline is also reading this book, one of my friends. She's about, when I was talking to her halfway through, and wasn't sure how she felt about it. So I'm very excited to read this and see how I like it. The movie looks really cool, so woo. I bought also The Bear and the Nightingale on that fateful trip. I have been waiting a long time for this book to come out in softback because I don't like hardcover anymore, and it finally has. It has a quote by Naomi Novik on the back, who's also one of my favorite authors, so that's good. I'll read the back of this so that you know what it's about as well. The winter lasts most of the year at the edge of a Russian wilderness, and in the long nights, Vesalius and her sisters love to gather by the fire and listen to their nurse's fairy tales. Above all, Vasia loves the story of Frost, the blue-eyed winter demon. Wise Russians fear him, for he claims unwary souls, and they honor the spirits that protect their homes from evil. When Vasia's widowed father brings home a new wife from Moscow, fiercely devout, Vasia's stepmother forbids her family from honoring the household spirits, but Vasia fears that what this may bring. And indeed, misfortune begins to stalk the village. But Vasia's stepmother only grows harsher, determined to remake the village to her liking, and to groom her rebellious stepdaughters for marriage or the convent. As the village defenses weaken and evil from the forest creeps nearer, Vesalius must call upon dangerous gifts she has concealed to protect her family from a threat sprung to life from her nurse's most frightening tales. I've clearly pronounced all those names incorrectly, so I am sorry, but it's such a pretty book. At first I thought it was a YA novel when I first heard about it, but it's actually in the adult fiction section. So we'll see how dark this really gets. So our running total is up to 8. Finally, when I was in Toronto, I also bought books, because why not? I finished Paper Girls Volume 1, so I went out to buy Paper Girls Volume 2. I'm very excited to read this, and I'm going to read it very soon. Woo! I also decided to pick up another graphic novel because it looked really cool, called Nimona, we're going to go with. And on the back, it says, Nimona is an impulsive young shapeshifter with a knack for villainy. Lord Ballister Blackheart is a villain with a vendetta. As a sidekick and supervillain, Nimona and Lord Blackheart are about to wreak some serious havoc. Their mission: prove to the kingdom that Sir Ambrosius Golden Lion and his buddies at the Institution of Law Enforcement and Heroics aren't the heroes everyone thinks they are. Nemesis, dragons, science, symbolism. All these and more await this brilliant, subversive, sharply irrelevant epic from Noelle Stevenson. So that sounds really awesome. The art looks pretty cool. I'm very excited to read this. I saw it sitting on a table in one of the YA sections in the chapters in the Eaton Center. It's also pretty heavy and made of very nice paper. So that's a lot of fun. It's also like novel length, which would make me feel better about it. I also bought, while I was there, Cinder, because I've been hearing a lot of hype about it, and I asked one of my favorite reviewers what she thought about it, and she said that it was a pretty good YA novel. So I've decided to check it out, and I'm very excited to read this as well. I've heard mixed reviews about some of the books in the Lunar Chronicles, but it seems like a lot of people out there, especially YA fans, really like it. So we'll try it out, see how it goes. I'm sorry I keep touching my face. I'm just very allergic to everything right now. The final book I bought, yes, we're almost at the end of the haul, at the 12th book, is The Essex Serpent. I saw this on Books and Quills channel a while ago, and I thought it was so pretty that I need to have it. And it says that it is about London, 1893, when Cora Seaborn's brilliant, domineering husband dies. She steps into her new life as a widow with as much relief as sadness. Her marriage was an unhappy one, and she never suited the role of a society wife. Seeking refuge in fresh air and open space, she leaves the metropolis for a coastal Essex, accompanied by her inquisitive and observant 11-year-old son, Francis, and the boy's nanny, Martha, a fiercely protective friend. Once they are there, they hear rumors that after nearly 300 years, a mythical Essex serpent, a fearsome creature that once roamed the marshes, has returned when a young man is mysteriously killed on New Year's Eve. The community's dread transforms into terror. Cora, a keen amateur naturalist with no patience for religion or superstition, is immediately enthralled, certain that the locals think is a magical sea beast may be previously undiscovered species. Eager to investigate, she is introduced to a parish vicar, William Ransom, who is equally suspicious of the rumors, but for different reasons. A man of faith, he is convinced that the alarming reports are caused by moral panic, a flight from the correct and righteous path. As Cora and William attempt to discover the truth about the Essex Serpent's existence, their seeming opposites find themselves inextricably drawn together in an intensive relationship that will change both of them in ways entirely unexpected. And as they search for answers, Cora's London past follows her to the coast with striking consequences. So that sounds absolutely delightful. I love naturalism, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to this book. Lots of fun. And just when you think I was done, I also have a borrowed book to show you this month. I bought it from my dad for Father's Day, and it is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. He said that if I liked The Wheel of Time, I would also like this, but he has not lent me The Wheel of Time yet. We're going to try this out. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And on the back, it says, "As destiny calls, a journey begins. It has been 20 years since the godlike Augurs were overthrown and killed. Those who once served them, the gifted, are spared only after accepting the rebellion's four tenets, which vastly limit their powers. Davian suffers the consequences of a war lost before he was even born. When he discovers that he wields forbidden magic powers of the Augurs, he sets in motion a chain of events that will change everything. To the west, a young man whose fate is intertwined with Davian's wakes up in a forest covered in blood with no memory of who he is. In the far north, an ancient energy begins to stir. I don't know what more you want from a classical fantasy novel. It has a band of misfits on the front. Your woman character who is going to inevitably fall in love with two of them and cause strife in the group. And it's the first book in a trilogy. It's also huge and wine-stained, because Dad spilt wine on it accidentally when we were camping. But he really liked it, and he lent it to me, which means that he really liked it. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to share it with you. So, those 13 books is everything that I hauled this month. I only read 8 books. So we're in a bit of a deficit now. So I just can't buy any books in August. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.